All right, the Knicks are coming off a strong Thanksgiving Eve showing. Got a dominant performance against the Hornets that helped them keep control of their NBA Cup destiny. And now it's going to get real. Friday night, they've got a chance for some revenge against the Milwaukee Bucks and a chance to advance to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. So joining me now is a man who loves the NBA Cup. He is the dean of Knicks Film School, the one and only Jonathan Macri. J-Mac, what's going on, man?
I love the NBA Cup almost as much as I love dessert on Thanksgiving. Although I will say, Dex, I thought of you yesterday because my favorite part of the meal was arguably a slice of cherry pie I had for dessert afterwards. It was quite delicious.
So for those who don't know, watch this. J-Mac and I did a recent episode of New York Got Game, and we talked about we made our own Knicks givings tables, and J-Mac's not a big dessert guy. I am not either, but this was the best part of your Thanksgiving meal? That must have been some fantastic cherry pie.
It was really, really good. The best compliment I could give it. It didn't even need ice cream to elevate. So, hopefully the best is yet to come for the Knicks if we're making the NBA Cup into a meal. I don't know if that's too stretching the analogy too far, but I'm going to go with it.
Yeah, that might be. And for those who don't know, me saying that J-Mac loves the NBA Cup is tongue-in-cheek, as he explained with the dessert there. All right, J-Mac, let's get into it. The Knicks, they're coming off a strong performance, dominant performance, we could say, over the Hornets on Thanksgiving Eve. What stood out to you the most about the Knicks' performance on Wednesday against the Hornets?
I'll give you two. I'll give you one offense and one defense. So for me, the offensive one, the thing that stood out was 64 points in the paint. That tied a season high for the Knicks. And I know something that I don't know about you. A lot of people I hear from are wondering, are the Knicks taking too many threes? Now, I like the threes that they're taking mostly because they are threes that they are generating from the drive and kick game. But that's what I liked about this Hornets win is they were getting into the paint and the Hornets were kind of giving them good opportunities near the rim. So I loved the 64 points in the paint. And then the defense, just two straight games kind of holding a team down, not giving up a lot of points. I understand it was the Nets and the Hornets, so you could only be too excited about that. But I thought the way they defended tenacity, getting some nice turnovers, generating points off of turnovers, all that stuff stood out to me in the positive column.
All right, so some positives there for the Knicks and for Knicks fans to hopefully get excited about. Understand it's the Hornets and the Nets before that, but it all matters. It all counts towards where they're trying to go. And with it all counting, we did see a starting lineup change for the Knicks in the game against the Hornets, where Mitchell Robinson, he didn't start. Josh Hart and Deuce McBride, they remained in the starting lineup. We saw that in Brooklyn on Monday. Did you like this move by Mike Brown, and should he stick with this starting lineup going forward?
I sure like it in retrospect after watching the game. I mean, it's hard not to like it given that is the version of Josh Hart that we got. And look, I know Josh Hart kind of had not the best second half of last season. I think his shot kind of eluded him. And there were some times where he was kind of the focus of a lot of people's blame for why the offense in particular was not better. Well, this is a very different version of Josh Hart that we're seeing now. Not only is he shooting the three confidently, he's at, I think, 38% for the year, but he's just still doing all the Josh Hart stuff that we know and love. He is operating with confidence. He's handling the ball well, doing pick and roll when Brunson's not on the floor. So it's all really good. And the other thing I'll just say, and I want to be careful. I don't want to be too critical of Mitchell Robinson because I think he's still getting his conditioning back. But if Mitch is not going to be the level of impact defender that we have seen in the past, and I don't think he is right now, I think, honestly, this is an easy decision for Mike Brown.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if he sticks with it going forward. If, as you said, Mitchell Robinson not playing to the level of defense that we know he is capable of playing to. Now, I want to take a look at this right now. I like trying to do this in segments with this Knicks team, J-Mac, because the Knicks have now played 17 games on the season. Will be 18 tonight against the Bucks. Do you feel like you know what this team's true identity is right now? And if not, or if you do, where do you still think they need to improve?
I think we're still figuring it out. I think, and look, anybody who hears a Mike Brown press conference is going to know this. Offensively, they want to penetrate the paint. They want to either score or kick it out for three. I think you look at their offense is back to being ranked third in the league. They're an offense-first team, and I think that's okay as the core part of their identity because when your two best players, as I know we've talked about a lot, Dex, are Jalen Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, two kind of offensive first players. I think that's fine. You have to dance with who brung you. I think the more interesting part for me is continuing to figure out what is their defensive identity. You know, they've given up a lot of threes this year, which is okay if you're going to take some other stuff away. And I think that's the part where we're still figuring out what is it that they are going to do, you know, on the positive end, if they're going to give up a lot of threes. Are they going to generate a lot of turnovers? Are they going to wall off the paint and make sure teams don't score at the rim? Until we get that last piece of it, you know, I think it's definitely a wait and see for me where, you know, the Knicks are concerned. But it's only 17 games, so that's fine.
Only 17 games. However, fans sometimes can be very impatient, but it is work in progress. We'll see how that goes. Now, the Knicks, they did take an L to the Bucks earlier in the season. They now have a chance, as I mentioned, for some revenge here tonight. How should the Knicks attack Milwaukee in a game where, here you go, J-Mac, and you love the stakes. If they win, they advance to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. So how should they attack Milwaukee, and what are the keys to them getting a win tonight?
Well, I mean, we'll see if Giannis plays. That's key number one. If Giannis doesn't play, then the key is just get a win, because you should overpower this team. But I'm going to go on the assumption that Giannis doesn't play, or sorry, that Giannis does play. And my key number one will be, how do they stop him? What is their plan for stopping him with no OG Anunoby, who we know is going to be out? You know, Giannis is too big for Mikal Bridges, arguably too quick for Karl-Anthony Towns. So are you just going to focus all of your attention on Giannis from other defenders? And then if you do that, how are you going to prevent him from driving and kicking out to three-point shooters? Because as we know, the Bucks have a lot of shooting. And then on the offensive end, I want to see what the response is from Karl-Anthony Towns. He had arguably his worst game of the season against the Bucks the first time these two teams met. You could kind of question his process, repeatedly trying to post up Kyle Kuzma. That didn't go so well. So how do they try to get Karl-Anthony Towns going? I think they've done a pretty good job of that the last few games. So we'll see if they can incorporate some of the stuff we've seen where Towns is concerned into a matchup against a potentially better opponent, again, assuming Giannis plays.
Yeah, Cat's going to be very interesting to see. Knicks fans were all over him after that last performance against the Bucks, the last time these two teams met. But they will meet tonight at Madison Square Garden. Knicks hosting the Bucks in the final game of group play in the NBA Cup. J-Mac is so excited for this one, as he wants to see the Knicks advance to the next
Let's
round.
Get that cup, baby.
That's all I wanted to hear. That's all I wanted to hear.
You can't see it in another area of my studio here. I have a giant poster of the NBA Cup trophy just hanging on the wall. One of these years, we're going to get it, and it's going to make me just it's going to make me so happy.
Just as a note, the Knicks have advanced to the knockout round of the NBA Cup. In each of the previous 2 years this has been played. They're trying to make it 3 in a row. We'll see if that happens. That is Jonathan Macri, the Dean of Knicks Film School. Check him out. Also check out his new podcast, NBA Takedown. Pretty good one as well, too. J-Mac, always a pleasure. I know you had a good holiday. Have some more cherry pie, and we will talk soon.
Thanks so much, Dex. Good to talk to you.